out to the side and back. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Tokika Uzuru, also known as Toki, and we are filming in the middle of the day and there's snow on the ground. That has nothing to do with today's video. Poor segue aside, today's video is actually going to be about the Burning Times, aka the witch trials. Not specifically the Salem witch trials, although if you go ahead and search that up in Google, you'll end up getting similar information anyway. And we'll start off with a little bit of fun facts. Now, in general, the witch trials started in 1560 and didn't really decline to almost no trials till like 1750. So that's a good few hundred years of people being executed for witchcraft. Fun fact, in certain places, executing people because they are witches or that they are practicing witchcraft is still legal. Here's a list of places that it's actually still legal. Now, in particular, the Salem witch trials started in 1692, about 90 something odd years after King James put his Witchcraft Act into effect, and didn't actually end until 1693. Short time, a lot of people died. But the first recorded incident, I'm gonna call it, of a witch trial and execution was 1647. So within the time frame of just 1 year, about 200 people were accused. Yes, people, it wasn't just women that were accused. 30 were found guilty and 25 plus died. Now, whether you practice witchcraft or not, you would still end up being accused of it. Most of the time it's because someone's holding a grudge or just wants you dead. Either way, not all of the people that were executed were actually witches, but also not all of the ones that died were executed. Specifically, a guy by the name of Giles Corey, who is actually married to Martha Corey, another woman that was tried and executed. He actually got crushed. Or was pressed to death because he was also accused of practicing witchcraft. So gender had nothing to do with it, although it was mostly women that were tried and executed. It could be a race thing, because that has happened. It could be an ethnicity thing. It could just be family feuds. And here are some of the weird ways that they were able to tell whether you were a witch. So, feel free to go ahead and try to make a little tally mark thing. 1, this is going to end up getting weird. 2, this is going to end up getting very generic, non-scientific ways that they use to go ahead and tell whether you were a witch or not. Number 1, the swimming test. Side effects may include accidental drowning. Number 2, prayer test, where illiteracy or anxiety can actually kill you. Based on the amount of times I actually fumble over my words, I would have been dead. Number 3, touch test. This has actually been shown in specifically the game Little Hope. Same people, made by the same people that did Man of Medan and Frick. Until Dawn. If a person were to act strangely, whatever that might have been back then, and the person that was being accused would to touch them, and they would go ahead and just stop acting strangely. Yeah, a healing touch could actually kill you, especially if you're the one being accused. Number 4, witch cakes. If you're not okay with grotesque things and food being put into the same category, you might want to go ahead and skip this. Here's the timestamp. You don't have to go ahead and deal with it. But witch cakes are basically cakes that they mix like cake ingredients and also the urine of the accused to dogs, specifically the accused person's dog. Number 5, a witch's mark. Basically any type of facial or skin imperfections you may or may not have. They would definitely end up starting prodding at it and everything. They had an entire system there. The whole thing about the witch's mark is be perfect or die, especially depending on who's doing the test on the witch's mark, because they will go ahead and look for any type of physical imperfections. Pricking or scratching test, basically if they decide to go ahead and poke at the little imperfections, beauty marks, moles, pimples, what have you, and it spews out anything other than blood, they would classify you as a witch. Which is kind of weird, especially seeing as though we all get pimples at some point. I mean, particularly, I have a mole right here on my arm, and then this other dark spot that I didn't realize was there until now. Again, I would have been killed. And last but not least, incantations. Better explained as the accused telling the devil to leave a certain person alone. And similar to the touch test, if it happens, the accused is then found guilty of witchcraft. If you've watched The Prince of Egypt before, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. But if you haven't, oh my goodness, please go watch the movie. I don't really care what type of religion you believe in. The soundtrack was bomb. It was one of the more decent Christian movies that I watched, and still would 10 out of 10 would still watch again. If you've also went through that and counted the ones that they would have had to check off for you, put that number out of 7 in the comment section and we can see like how screwed you would be in this case. Right. I didn't touch on specifically the way they would execute people that were found guilty of witchcraft. But I think this definitely has to be like the ending point that I want to go ahead and drive into the video. The whole reason why they nicknamed it the Burning Times is because of the fact that the famous or the most used execution was burning at the stake. But as I stated earlier, you didn't even have to go ahead and be an actual witch just to end up being tried, found guilty, and executed for witchcraft. And now that we are closing this video out, I would just want to go ahead and do the stereotypical YouTuber outro that I usually do, but it's a bit more rushed. If you did like this video, you can go ahead and press the like button. It'll just tell YouTube that you want to go ahead and it'll push this video out to more people that would want to go ahead and watch this content, and it just allows me to know that you want to watch more of this type of content. You could also subscribe for more spiritual type content or whatever I decide to post, because I'm going to be doing a bit more experimental videos to see what happens with that. And when you hit the subscribe button, if you want to be notified of whenever I post these videos, you can go ahead and click that bell icon or the notification bell, and choose whether you want occasional notifications for highly requested videos or all notifications. And this is Toki saying that I'm just about to go lay down on my bed after cleaning up from filming. And Toki out.